I don't know anything about Warcraft 3. I don't know anything about Warcraft 3 compared to Lyn, right? Alright everyone, hello, and welcome to a very special and a very exciting Nick Oldhead video, because you know what? We're going to be talking about just a very exciting match. It's going to be Happy versus Lyn. Aurora Happy versus Lyn. Oh man, to say we have been looking forward to this, that's an understatement. Okay, oh look, it's the Soul 8 Man. Do you want to... Let's go to Soul 8 Man's vision to start off the game, right? So we're going to be really trying to learn from Lyn here. I don't think we need to focus too much on what Happy is doing in any of these games, especially for this video, right? We as Orc players have already felt what it's like to play some Warcraft 3 after watching so much Lyn, right? I feel that my Blade Master is a little more lethal, a little more aware. So let's really try and, you know, focus on Lyn here. We go Farseer. So we're already diving into what Lyn thinks is appropriate in Undead versus Orc. Farseer, you know, one of my favorite heroes. I like to go Farseer versus Undead. I feel like it's easier to not have my Farseer die. And I also think late game, if you can get level 5 Farseer and get level 3 Spirit Wolves, I think that's really good versus Undead. But let's see. Now, do you kill this Acolyte? No, you don't. You don't spend any time killing that Acolyte. Okay, so these are the sort of decisions I'm looking for. It looks like the build on Lyn, we go the text just about out when the Farseer is, but also you have the barracks finished. So it's a Headhunter fast tech build. And I like going for this giant sea turtle. So Lyn goes for this giant sea turtle. I like to do this as well. See, the sea turtle here has medium armor, and your wolves, they're doing normal damage. So it's a nice little thing. We get claws of attack. Sweet. Now, if it was versus elf, we would know you're already running over. But no, it looks like you see the value in helping your wolves finish that. I think you don't even go for the Acolyte. So you get scouted. You know that Happy sees you, so whatever you do is going to be hard to... Yeah, I think you need to kill that Acolyte. So you get one chop in, send that wolf to the Acolyte, and here's Happy. Oh, the dread. I can't even... See, I hate playing against your average Undead player, but imagine playing against Happy. So we have one wolf here, one wolf going for the Acolyte. We like these decisions. We'll stay on the Acolyte. Does the Acolyte die there? It looks like it will. So we get an Acolyte kill, maybe? Oh, yep, so it looks like the Acolyte died. And we have no more units building. We have an attempt to get maybe a last hit, but we do get a ghoul. Looks like we get a ghoul. Ooh, that ghoul's saved. So this is the standard Orc plan versus Undead. You have to harass this early game creeping, right? Like the game starts early. It's less than 4 minutes on the clock, and we're already skirmishing heavily. Maybe these headhunters could probably turn. Oh, never mind, they're dead. So get Circlet. Okay, like buying Circlet. You know, Circlet's a great item. You get 50 HP, you get 30 mana, you get 2+ damage. You know, think of Circlet as a mini level up, right? Overall, it's a really valuable item. You can pass it on to other heroes later on. So we have the Farseer. This is a difference between Farseer and the Blade. You can split up. So this is what Happy is known for. You know, split, creeping with the ghouls, just superior micro. See, look, the ghoul doesn't die. But you really don't want to feed this wolf. We see a Headhunter. Now, I wonder if Lyn... Do you have a Voodoo Lounge yet, Lyn? Okay, no, it's building right now. Wow, look. So his timing is so great. I was already just looking at the game state. I'm thinking, like, where's your Voodoo Lounge? And look, he has it. Probably need to TP here. Oh. See, I thought you'd TP here just because you were going to get the Headhunters mowed down. But the way Lyn did it is he now has 2 separate forces. Shouldn't you maybe turn? No, because he doesn't know the Death Knight could be here. So you don't want to turn on the skeleton. It's a little dangerous. Nope, you do. The wolves are also trying to get in. And, alright. So we see Lyn is really... Oh, nice. Looks like that skeleton was crucial. Now for the actual build here. Bestiary, Shadowhunter, Gets a speed scroll. Doesn't get any salve or anything because we already have that by the Farseer. Ooh, and the Dark Ranger. Dark Ranger is especially good versus Headhunters, right? Now, that was a pretty nice hex because you don't want to get the coil, right? You don't want to get death coil there. We're staying on Lyn's vision. Look at what Lyn's doing with the wolves. I like this. You think he can get a kill on the Acolyte? That'd be big. Huh, that's interesting. So Lyn's trying to get this kill on the Acolyte would be really good because you're attacking Acolyte down. We don't see it. Let's see what Lyn does with his second set of wolves here. Are you aware? Yes, you're very aware. So Lyn's very aware of this. You know, you're still harassing. So lesson from Lyn. You know, if you're playing Farseer, you got to take advantage of the fact that while your enemy hero is contending with your hero, your wolves can be doing something else, right? So it looks like it's a full wall off now. Not even the wolves can get by, or maybe they can. We're trying again. Yep, he finds a way through. Nice. Okay, but Happy's quick with it too. So now that he has the target, he can kind of forget about these wolves and start doing other stuff. Let's see what he's doing on the base side. Builds a burrow. Okay, so, you know, I like Lyn's disruptive plan, right? If we're trying to think about the things that I just probably wouldn't have done. We have slowed down Happy's creeping significantly. That's important. I like the speed. You know, it just Hex and Farseer. Oh, okay, yeah. Hex and Farseer are trying to kill the Death Knight. I mean, not bad. It's interesting the way Lyn just has these individual control groups. Like the fact that you can even deal that much pressure with just a Shadowhunter and Farseer. I mean, these heroes don't scale well. So now is the most powerful time that those Spirit Wolves are going to be. Probably. Alright, so we need some regen though, right? We're all low. We're all low. And we're going Wind Riders. Makes sense, right? It's a good unit, especially versus Undead. Ghouls are a problem. That's annoying, that Escalder Warrior. I'd be afraid of the Death Knight here, right? I'd be afraid of Death Knight Lich. See, okay, for this series, we're going to really try to focus on Lyn. It's so tempting for me to take off the Fog of War, but I like sticking... Oh, there he is, the Menace himself. So I would kill these ghouls, right? Ghouls. They're slowed. And you can see that. Yep, you get that one hit in. Nice. Look at that. He was trying to get the deny. You know it's not going to die. You can get a body block. That poor head hunter. You have one salve. Probably give it to the head hunter. There you go. Yep, salve on the head hunter. Nice. Okay, so more... I expect these wolves to get sent there too, but more of what Lyn does best against Undead, right? The harassment. So now it's in the form of 2 Wind Riders. We have level 3 yet? Yeah, as in we have not level 3. I mean tier 3, yes. And we probably have the poison. Yes, so we do have poison. In theory, you can attack that one for more damage now. But the poison stacks. So this is cool. We're doing a little bit of harass. That forces Happy to buy the tower. Forces Happy to just lose out on gold. I mean, this is great. While you're doing this, Happy, though, knows. Happy is such an aware player. Ooh, yikes. Happy's thinking like, oh, okay, you have 2 Wind Riders over here? Huh, that probably means your on the map presence is weaker. Maybe I should just gun it over to your most likely creep position and... Oh, do we kill one? Oh, no, they're low. We don't lose any Wind Riders, but leave it to that nice micro by Happy to only lose 1 there. Yeah. Headhunters. So we have the Wind Rider and the Headhunters, which is a lot of piercing damage, right? TC comes out. Ah, this is so tough. Spikes is good. A little late on the spikes, right? And that means the Shadowhunter is getting bullied into oblivion. Maybe you just send a unit here and rebuy the Shadowhunter? I'm not sure. Well, either way, this is looking like curtains, right? This is a nice little trick, though, everyone. When you're trying to get max defense, put 1 peon in each burrow. It's actually more DPS that way than, say, putting 3 peons in 1 burrow. No, 3 peons in 3 burrows is better. So nice to see Lyn doing that. It is some nice burrow focus fire, and we have the spike. So okay, this is a nice strategy Orc can sometimes do. Orc loves it when you're fighting their base and like I'm taking damage, getting weaker while they're getting stronger, right? This is something that you can do. You can now then TP there, and it's like your opponent's significantly weaker than they were in the beginning, because yeah, you're down some buildings, but like, you know, look, this is objectively doing damage to Happy. So now Happy probably won't take the fight, right? Or maybe you would. Okay, so you got to use the invuln. Yeah, the Wind Riders, they're getting focused, and this is a good destroyer timing. Look at the mana on the destroyer. Look at that Orb of Annihilation. You know, once you have Orb of Annihilation on the destroyer, you know, because they've been able to get some mana from a statue, it's like a time limit. You have a certain amount of window to use that, and then once it's over, they become very weak in terms of damage. So you could maybe argue that Lyn is aware of this and is kind of stalling, but this looks... See, if you had the Shadow Hunter, I think you could have maybe gotten some kills, but just strategically, you know, Spike's Barricade a little too late before you're able to defend your Altar of Storms. No Altar of Storms mean no Shadow Hunter. You're upside down on food, and you're against the best player, Happy. Yep, there you go. Tauren Chieftain down. This game looks over. Yeah, yikes. See, so this is how my games usually go. As in, just when that Shadow Hunter was killed, I think that was it. When that Shadow Hunter was killed, that was just brutal. We're gonna keep going. This is a best of 5. Moving on to Turtle Rock. I love me some Turtle Rock. It's a classic map. Ah, and look at him. The enemy. Happy. Boo. We're biased here. This is a very biased channel. So Lyn. Okay, you're Lyn. Your Farseer game didn't work out. I was praising Lyn for his Spirit Wolf usage and the way you were harassing acolytes, and even the Wind Riders, the way you were harassing acolytes. But isn't it interesting when you look back on it, harassing the acolytes slowed down the creeping speed, and because you didn't have the Wind Riders in the middle of the map when you were creeping the Goblin Shop, Happy is able to kind of like intuit that. Happy is thinking, oh, you're Wind Riders, you know, your significant DPS investment is at my base. I got to find you right now and fight you right now. I have to punish you for trying this acolyte harass, and that's exactly what happened. You know, the Shadow Hunter gets nuked. So this always drives me crazy. I'd never know what to do when the Undead brings their acolyte. Do I kill it? Do I not? And look at Undead smacking your Voodoo Lounge. How rude. Taking about 7 damage there. So the Blade Master immediately sells. Doesn't waste any time. Not trying to kill this. Doesn't even chop it. So Lyn is on such a tight schedule. This Blade Master, such a tight schedule. Can't even afford it. Buy Circlet. All right, we love to see it. Lyn special. Trying to get some items here. Do we get the steal? No. Oh yeah, I think we're definitely going to get the steal. Sick. All right, so 20 experience not given to the Death Knight. Death Knight got Ring of Superiority, probably one of the best drops from the little small turtles. But you know, Lyn has bought the Circlet, so it's no slouch either. You know, these stat increasing items are so important because your hero is the only thing you have with these fast tech builds, right? There's no barracks here when you go Blade Master. Notably, there was barracks into the Farseer game last time, but Blade Master has the ability to really be on his own and, you know, steal items. Oh, very nice to get that, kind of knowing how much damage. The coil, ooh, steals the Ring of... Okay, so Lyn this is very nice. Nice early game. If I had this early game, I'd be feeling good. Did you take that Ring of Superiority? Yes, you did. So now it's like you have Ring of the Archmage. Oh, wow. Now it's like you have the Crown of Kings. 2 circlets and a ring. This feels great. You're 125 more strength. You know, you got, what was that, 75 more mana, 5 more damage. Each 3 points increases armor. So yeah, 1.5 armor. It's pretty great. Still got a fast tech going on. And what is Lyn going to do? One more circlet? No, come on. Just wanted to check there. Sees where it is. Doesn't have time on the Windwalk. So yeah, I like when orcs do this. You know, you don't have duration on the Windwalk, just start hitting the hero. It's free. Yeah, that's that coil. Tome of Agility? Freebie. I think you could kill this turtle. I think you could kill this turtle right now. Am I crazy? I would have just with the blade started hitting the turtle. Oh well. Oh, so you're getting the item. So you're prioritizing the item. But look, but Happy just goes right back to the turtle. Maybe Happy thought, like I did, Lyn would have been going for the turtle. But no, Lyn went for the gloves. Lyn tries to get back in time, pushing up greater mana. So a little bit of a mind game there going on. And we've talked about this before in our Blade Master Learning from Lyn games, that there's like a hierarchy of needs for the Blade Master. You know, stealing enemy experience and Creepjacks is high up, but it's also just getting items. And Lyn was just, you know, couldn't help it. These ogre warriors here, they all have pretty nice loot tables for the Blade Master. You know, you're either getting claws, you're either getting gloves or the ring or something. The Shadowhunter comes out, that's going to mean Hex, right? Shadowhunter usually buys some items here. Yep, buys healing salve, scroll of speed. Look at the Voodoo Lounge actually getting murked down by the Acolyte. There's no way. I'm just going to keep track of that. The Blade Master here, though, I'd say is an absolute menace. The Death Knight can't really, at any point, just take this DPS for free. So it's nice to be a stacked blade right here. Oh, look! We're getting the creep manipulation. I like that, you know. So, you know how Lyn always is creeping with the Shadowhunter and 3 grunts while the blade is doing something else? Well, this is kind of a similar way the Shadowhunter can creep when you don't have any barracks units. You just do some of that shenanigan stuff. Oh, so we got Ring of Protection 5. Wow, this blade's tanky. What else you got? Claws of Attack. Nice. So this is one of Lyn's strengths. Alright, one of Lyn's strengths is having this kind of sense that if I have the chance, I'm going to get items from my blade. That's always the default. It's kind of interesting to think about that. Other races kind of default to maybe a fast expansion or just okay, well the Wind Rider dies. But you know, other races default to fast expansion, but Orc kind of tries to get fast itemization. Yeah, because this blade just does DPS. You can actually cancel the slaughterhouse. Yeah, look at that. Barely takes any damage. Just took 7 damage from a ghoul. Oh man, I remember seeing that one live. The Happy's so good, you know, using the Wand of Negation there to dispel. It's good. But we're trying to see what Orc does. So Orc is, at this point, Shadowhunter starved for levels. And it feels bad because we lost 2 Wind Riders, so our creeping speed's pretty slow. Looks like we have Vision here, which is nice, but the Death Knight, Death Knight is on the prowl, looking for us, right? I guess the Death Knight is assuming, yep, looking for us. And you really can't fight the gargoyles with Wind Riders at all, you get mauled. Frost Nova? No, I think you need more mana, right? Yeah, just hit him. Now, maybe an offensive Death Coil would have been warranted. You know, you have a lot of mana. You just gotta run, Lyn. So we're sticking with bestiary units, but probably no headhunters just yet. We'll see. Who told you? Man, I think Lyn told you to be created, Bat Rider. Now, use your superior night vision and get a read on the gargoyles' movement. You know, get that nice flank. Little diminishing returns, killing all of the sea turtles. Look at all the small items Lyn has. That's the Gauntlet of Ogre Strength. So, even the Shadow Hunter has more stat boosting items than you'd think. Okay, decent. Bat Rider, do you have Liquid Fire yet? Because if you had Liquid Fire yet, you could easily take down that Nerubian. I think, so this is an interesting mind game. It's almost as like Lyn is just letting Happy know that I have air, I have air, I'm building air units, but meanwhile I'm creeping with 3 heroes. That's all you need. Isn't annoying when all of your acolytes are poisoned? Must be. We're building a barracks. Okay, so the same strategy. We're building that barracks. Work complete. As in maybe a headhunter switch. Now that's spooky. Ooh, as an orc, you don't like that. You just tried to attack their base, and they didn't even defend. They didn't even come back. You know what that means? That means they're creeping. So Lyn is like, oh man, the undead opponent's just creeping. Am I going to creep? Yeah, let's do something big. So you get the Gargantuan Sea Turtle. Great! Would have been a shame if, you lost every one of those to Happy. Because you get a pretty nice consumable item here, right? Yeah, Potion of Invulnerability. Maybe give that to the Blade. Love to see the Blade chop around. Man, you get spikes again, which I like to see. Spikes against the ghouls. Really looking for nice creeps to tank, but they're all full. Well, I mean, they're all empty, except for this. Nice. So this is the cool thing about Wind Riders and the Poison. They can just really, focus fire one target down very efficiently. So this is a pretty nice ability to just get experience on all 3 of your heroes. Cloak of Fames is good. Though, as an orc player, it does always feel bad because, you're competing with the undead creep speed. And we see here, just a quick sneak peek, yeah, the undead creep speed is real. And, you don't even have to worry about your units getting low HP because the statues are there. Meanwhile, okay, attack number 2. I really think the Liquid Fire would be nice here. It also slows down the attack. But, yeah, the Ziggurats aren't the charge here. It's the no... By the way, no Burning Oil would be nice. I mean, Liquid Fire. Burning Oil, that's a whole nother upgrade, right? But we have the Gold Mine, 5850, 54. Okay, so just barely slowed down by around 300, 400 gold. Yes. This is another giant turtle that does not have medium armor, by the way, so... unlike the other turtles, you don't get a bonus with melee. And also, I believe it has a Thorns aura, right? Alright, here comes the gargoyles. You're going to need the ends just for the means. Nice. 2 ends just for the means. So that's a pretty good getaway. You get 2 gargoyles worth of experience. It's not bad, bring the Bat Riders. I like that strategy. Bring the Bat Riders over to do some base attacks with the full intent knowing that they're not going to live, so you just blow them up into the enemy air. So look at these items. These items are actually really insane. 333 is a pretty meaningful combo. It's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds. Okay, so we sold some of the stuff we didn't need. Got the scroll. Nice. Yeah, look at the APM, 371. And you're not even have upkeep yet. You stayed on 50 the whole time. Such a masterclass of restraint. The Blade Master, you can do this solo. No problem there. So I sometimes love and hate games like this. Because when I'm the orc player and I feel like, oh, this is good, my items are getting so great, there's this nagging suspicion, what's the undead player doing? And this is what the undead player is doing. Just sitting in the base, making the perfect army. Oh yeah, Banshees are good. Now we decided to go into low upkeep. Was this a frivolous call? No, we wanted to get Liquid Fire. Okay, facts. I think Liquid Fire is really good against undead because, if they're not going to fight you in the open, eventually you have to deal with their cold tower. The Ziggurat, the Spirit Tower, whatever. So Liquid Fire does that. But we have an expansion. Okay, so Lyn fighting back. Expansion. That's good to know. And it's kind of an interesting way to expand as well. Like, as you get to tier 3, you just really make sure your heroes have high experience. So by the time you do drop the tiny, it's like, who's going to mess with you then? Yeah. But look at this. Isn't it fascinating that Happy is essentially just in his base? That's patience, though. Sometimes when you know how a fight's going to go, or you kind of know the game state. But does Happy know about this? Let's see. We really don't know if he does. Maybe he probably does. And let's see. This is going to be a big fight. Big fight. All right. Orc, what are you deciding to do? You're Lyn. There's some decisions. Okay, someone left the game, lagging. I like how the Great All here is just taking damage, and we're in. So we get some angels by the means, but we run away. Okay, now they can attack. Stomp is good. Okay, yeah, we're going through them. This hurts. This hurts. These units just need to go there. They just move up. Oh yeah, the moment the moment Lyn's blades are to take damage, you have to do the mirror image. That's a nice little detail there. Don't wait, because then by the time you mirror image, it's a low HP image. Torn Chieftain's down though. See you later, Kelstone Bull. Could it be Roz? Could you be make to use the pot? That would be kind of a win, but I don't think Happy feels threatened in that way. Wow, it's an interesting game. These Kodos would have been great if they were eating, right? There's just so many ways to die versus Undead. But this is nice. Maybe a Watchtower there would have changed this. Maybe a Voodoo Lounge here would have definitely changed things. If you already have the expansion, that's just maybe a little future thinking. Alright. Oh no. Lyn! One last stand, right? You gotta have one last stand, but you're running. Got a ghoul. Great. Is this it? Is this the last stand? Oh no! I really like this. Even I do this sometimes. When your Blade Master can be left alone with the orb, and it's your best anti-air. Gold mine is running low. The duration on the match is running low. Oh no. Lyn! I remember this. Yeah, there's just too much. And all of these statues could easily become destroyers. It's just too much. Can we get a stomp? Oh well. So, it's just tough, right? It's tough. Not only you're against Happy, but sometimes Orc just... If you don't get a really dynamite early game, if you don't get that disruption, you can feel like you're on the back foot sometimes. It really can. Alright. Let's keep it going. We got more where that came from. So, we have our next game, though, on Shattered Exile. We need Lyn to come back. Because, you know, Undead's a tough matchup for me as well. So, in the spirit of learning from Lyn, we have to try to put our heads into... You know, this mindset. What if we had to play the world's best Undead player, right? Let me get that out of the way. What if we had to play the world's best Undead player? What if we had to, you know, be this cognizantly aware of how unfair ghouls are, right? I know, ghouls have been nerfed, but I just think when you play Orc for so long, you've just been surrounded so many times. You know the swing an Undead player gets when they surround one of your grunts in the early game? You see, when this game was new, that... didn't happen very often, right? During the first years of this game, it's not like your grunts were getting surrounded immediately, but when we've reached the stage of 2026 Warcraft 3, when we have players like Happy, it really makes Orc Tier 1 really hard to, you know, even go toe-to-toe against that many units. That's why the Cryptlord fast expansion is so tough at the low Orc MMR, but I digress. We're getting the Circlet of Nobility, and we already see the differences between me and Lyn. I just would have killed that Acolyte, and that's why I'm bad, right? I'm sure the Acolyte would have just denied himself. Double Circlet. Ooh, love this. So, you know, double Circlet makes your blade so strong. And think about it. You're not spending money on a barracks. You're not spending money on grunts. So that one circlet, that's like as much as a grunt. So your 2 grunts are like inside your Blade Master right here. Pause. These 2 grunts, you know, the value in which you would spend, now the circlets are allowing your Blade Master to have more HP, more mana. And those mana, right, that means more windwalks, right? That means more damage, more pressure. So we got the dust, which is good for Happy. You know, Happy's really good at dust. He knows when the Blade Master's around. So you got the deny on the salve. I would just hit the ghoul, yeah. You're probably going to have to force a death coil, but now we have an opportunity. Oh, look, Happy's so good. He's not going to let him steal that. And you don't get the Gloves of Haste. Would have been really great if you got the Gloves of Haste, but you know, in terms of decision making here, this is just like high level play. Like, wow, nice. You get the steal, Lyn. That was just a good little bit of timing. But we also have to think about what causes Lyn to know he can play this aggressive. Well, he got my favorite thing ever, right? When you get the 3 forms of healing, he got not only the rejuvenation potion. So he may want to let it wait for a bit. Let it rock for as long as he can. You know, he's inside the unit there, so he's not getting hit. Do you see that? He finally got hit. So smart. So he was dusted, but he made sure to stand right inside the renegade unit, so it was very hard for Happy to get the click. And just look at how disruptive this is. I'd maybe even start hitting the Death Knight, right? Now that you're purged. Nah, but just so defensive. Really, you're just stopping Happy. Oh, and now you go in. Once the lightning... I love that. The idea of once the lightning shield is casted, you know that's just so much chaos, you might as well go in. So you don't get to nab the item, but boy, talk about disrupting Happy here. This is just brutal. Meanwhile, you're getting attacked by an Acolyte. No big deal. Can you get the ghoul? You get a ghoul. Level 2 confirm. That's another... Oh, no. Okay, almost. Was going to. So, if you saw my last video, I was kind of inspired by Lyn and how he pushes the Blade Master to its very limit. And, you know, we see why. When you play this strategy, your entire early game is this Blade Master. So, use every salve, use every clarity, you know, buy 2 circlets, solo creep to get a consumable item. And it really allows, let's just break our rule and look at Happy right here. See, look, Happy has a low HP Death Knight. No TP, because that's what undeads do. So it's not as if Happy can just freely be around the map. Now Lyn, let's see what he does here. Did we pull this Enforcer on purpose? We did? Oh, okay. So we gotta learn from Lyn in the best of ways here, right? This is the masterful display of no barracks orc. Yeah, just pull the level 5 Enforcer camp. That's the highest level creep of this camp. Wow, you can just pull that? Very nice. So now you get Scroll the Beast. I guess that creep camp somehow walked over. Wait, was this really this guy here? You really took it from the mercenary camp? That's incredible. Yeah, so he got this level 5 Enforcer. And then he just pulled him over here. Not really the best item because you don't have that many units right now. But you could potentially save this for a mass Raider push or mass Wind Rider push. By the way, ingenious of Lyn, not just getting 2 Wind Riders like most orcs would do. You need the Raider and the Ensnare. So high priority, and this is a creeping army now. Like, we've done that damage to the Death Knight. We're now creeping. I wonder if we're going to buy anything from the Goblin Shop. Get Claws of Attack, nice. So we're just creeping. Oh no, that's not good. How does this happen? What? Must be a weird map. Oh, come on. This is ridiculous. Lyn's like, huh? How did this Raider get double teamed? But whatever. We're still keeping from Lyn's perspective here. He knows he's against Happy. You tech to tier 3, you get the poison's tips. You need to build a burrow, it's about to finish. You immediately hex the gargoyle, and that gargoyle hex gets Wand of Negations. When Lyn sees the Wand of Negation, he then ensnares. So do you see how Lyn really like makes proper stacking of the orc resources there. You have ensnare, you have hex, but hex is the insta-cast one. You want to cast that first. And, you know, this is actually something you're going to see later. Sell Scroll of the Beast, like I thought. You don't have much units. Scroll of the Beast is good if you're trying to do like a 60 food push, you know, really quickly go over 50, use your Scroll of the Beast to destroy a key on production building or something. And then, you know, you have the advantage. You can keep streaming in units because you have all of your production buildings, but your opponent is down one. That's a little Scroll of the Beast meta. I've seen that done in Night Elf versus Night Elf. Because, you know, if you just snipe down the lores before you get the bear up with a bunch of units. But I digress. We're not talking Night Elf versus Night Elf. We're talking Orc versus Undead. And we see the Tri-Hero is a very important part of Orc versus Undead. This Endurance Aura gives you the movement speed. Nice how we're... Okay, level 3, a Blade Master, no longer an experience priority. We've actually talked about this before, how level 2 Windwalk has a really unique power spike, and Lyn is just showing us how to use that power spike. You got to scout the map. You know, you have a very efficient invisible scout. It's really good. You know, in terms of scouts, it's one of the best scouts in the game, right? It moves so fast, invisible, and if it sees anything out of place, it can kill it, right? So this is a classic orc move. You need some more time to creep. You need some more time to build your army, so you harass with the Blade Master. It's cool to see Lyn do this, because this is like a stalling technique every orc does. But let's see what target. Most of the people hit the statues, because the statues can't be coiled. So, like, you really hurt the undead sustainability. Let's see if we're going to do that right now. Probably statue, right? Nope. You go for the gargoyle, because it's ensnared. Get the other ensnare. Okay. So we see a priority of damage on the gargoyles, right? That's probably because you have the Wind Riders, right? And as long as the gargoyles are dead, your Wind Rider's doing well. You may want to get a Bat Rider explosion here. So it's kind of stressful with these ensnare creeps going crazy. And there may have been some lag right there. But these ensnare creeps, like, just causing way too much chaos. Any unit that gets ensnared gets killed. Lyn's leading with the level 2 Windwalk. Ruined Bracers is such a good item. I must have missed him picking that up. But Ruined Bracers is a really good item versus Undead. You know, Lyn's creeping is once again so efficient. See, look at that. It's the little things. Let's just take a pause. So cool to see just the decision to move this level 6 creep into a more favorable close position to you. So now, you know, if he was here and you were fighting it, Lyn gets completely flanked. Do you get the Frost Nova? Yeah, you get the Frost Nova, but the item is yours. So that's the Wand of the Wind. Man, that's happy for you, right? Now, if I do that in my games, no way my undead opponent is that slick to steal it. But we see again, level 2 Windwalk. This is how you go against undead, right? You need to know where they are. Put the fear in them. You are aware that shade is not present, right? Because you'd be getting attacked. Hit the statue? Yeah. Statue, this is just that classic annoying bit of harassment. You really want, I guess, Tauren Chieftain level 3. Now that you have Shadowhunter 3, just trying to creep as fast as you can. This is a big map, so we're seeing a creeping priority. And level 2 Windwalk, just really get the best of it. Happy, who knows what Happy's doing. Undead is scary. All we know is that their heroes keep getting higher a level. But it is nice to fight when the destroyers have no mana. So maybe Happy saw that? Happy probably... No, Lyn saw that? I meant? Oh, Ghoul down. Okay, good. So that's a little overkill. Purge and Snare. But Ghoul is down. Happy is just like creeping right in front of Lyn. That's crazy. Kill the skeleton. Just get some swings in. The Lich is very, very tanky. But the Dark Ranger is relatively not. So maybe you have clicked on items and you see that? Wow, well, you're just getting kind of out-crept here. It is tough. Dang. At this point, let's see the army composition. We have Bat Riders, Raiders, Kodos. Ah, yes, this is... I remember seeing this cast. Saul, 8-man. Shoutouts to the GOAT. Master of Beasts. Let's see. We have Batrider and Snares on the targets. Use Healing Wave on the Wyverns. This is classic Undead. You're trying to chase all of your air units. The Blade Master is just chopping. You have 2 ensnares here, but not much focus fire. But we've successfully avoided all of our Wyverns being melted, and now the Blade Master is on destroyers. So good. This is good. The first Death Coil goes down. We don't get the stun to stop the Death Coil. And we probably don't like where this fight's headed, so we're out. So we just wanted to really slow that down. We know Speed Scroll is very important when you have this air army, and the reason Speed Scroll is important, you're probably going to see Speed Scroll used when you get Frost Nova, right? Because Frost Nova is just kind of the death sentence when your units are slow. Would have liked to see us... Oh no, so we have... That destroyer has to die. So the Blade Master is on anti-air duty. I'd be really surprised to see the Blade Master not chopping these destroyers as a priority. I mean, this is actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. Happy lost a lot, and can we just notice how spread out and how sprawling Lyn is fighting? The macro is really good. We're still building units, building Spirit Walkers. It's a lot of diversity of army. We need the Spirit Walkers because we see the Banshees. We have the Kodo Beast eating a ghoul. Nice little decision there. Could you invuln to get rid of the curse? It's a possibility because you're missing a lot here. The blade's very inefficient with curse, but we're just going to run instead. So, don't you remember? Let's look at the experience on the heroes. Wow, blade almost 4, shot almost 4, TC halfway. So Lyn got a lot of experience there. Killed a lot of units. Let's look at the undead heroes. Okay, Drow almost 3, Dark Range 3. So I feel as if it's, yeah, you need to creep here. This is where Undead has the advantage over Orc. They can just regen on the move. They can regen while creeping, whereas Lyn has to be at home trying to salve as fast as possible. That's the shortcut that every Orc player needs to know, right? H for a healing salve, and then you have to bind it to a hotkey, because literally the faster you can apply healing salves on your units, the more efficient you are, right? So Happy is really breakneck speed. You see a lot of Orc versus Undead. There's a point in which it's a rush for creeps. Yeah, because this is the matchup, unlike other matchups in the game. You know, Human versus Human is very army dependent. Night Elf versus Night Elf, very army dependent. But Undead versus Orc is almost all heroes. You know, all of these units just get destroyed by the heroes. So we have the Blade Master scouting around, moving to try to find some reinforcement units, right? Kind of too slow for the Creepjack because everything's dead, but okay, we're fine. We see a silence on the Shadow Hunter, so can't heal that. The Blade is cursed. That's not good. We're losing units. We feel that so we use the Speed Scroll to retreat. But the Blade Master is safe, right? You have Rune Bracers. Rune Bracers allows this army to be led by the Blade Master, because anytime Happy casts spells on a Runed Bracers hero, it's not efficient, and Happy's all about efficiency. I think the army composition here is really worth noting. It's really worth noting how diversified Lyn's army is, and that allows you to defend this tier 2, this expansion, that I think was Tiny Great Hall, so it wasn't a tier 2 expansion. I think lesser Orc, or maybe just a less nuanced Orc, would have just made more Wind Riders, but I really think the Kodos and the Spirit Walkers, because look, they're going to be Spirit Linked. This is just a raw understanding of Orc mechanics. You want to know how to get these Wind Riders to feel a little tougher? Well, you can Spirit link them to a 1000 HP unit. And we see another Kodo, another Raider. Watchtower is nice here. It kind of adds some passive DPS. And let's see what Lyn does. So he goes for the Banshees. That's smart. We see Lyn has chosen the Blade Master to go on the Banshees as well as the Wind Riders. The Stomp is just trying to stop the ghouls. Very good. These are defensive stomps. Shadowhunter moves the Shadowhunter out of position. Just saw that it was too close. This feels nice. These Kodos, oh wow. Kodos have eaten 3 ghouls. Okay. 3 ghouls have been eaten by these Kodos. So just in your head, imagine if, you know, Happy still had 4 more ghouls here. These Raiders are taking significant damage. That Raider's dead for sure. Right? So we have, see, this is the strength of the Undead army. Every time you lose a unit, another skeleton's out. Black Arrow, level 2. But I think the Kodo Beast did a really fantastic job of stopping the ghouls. You still have the potion, yeah. Both used the potion at the same time. Both had the right instincts. But now look at, okay, so when will Lyn just build a bunch of units now? Because you've been microing a lot. I mean, and you're microing against Happy. Jeez. Yeah, this looks over. Just look at the resources Lyn has. You can build everything. You can even build a Tauren. Mana Burrow. And the Kodos devoured it. Yeah, that's G. GG. Look at all that. So this is something interesting. Hexed, right? But then dispelled, but you got the net. You see there's this hierarchy of orc resources when trying to kill a hero. You have Stomp, Hex, and Snare. And the Undead can only use one of his items to stop Hex. So you have to kind of know when the timing is. So hey, let's go. Lyn is back, right? Let's go to springtime. Let's see how this one goes. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, okay, springtime. Is it? Yeah, springtime. Alright, springtime it is. Okay, Lyn. Blade Master usage was on point. As orcs ourselves, we're paying attention to the level 2 Windwalk, right? We're paying attention to how good that felt. Seeing Lyn just scout, get all that information. You know, let's breeze through this part. We see this, okay. And we're here. We have a fast tech again, sell the TP again, healing salve clarity. Now, sometimes I see Lyn go double healing salve, but this is healing salve clarity. So, what is the next expenditure of gold? We have a burrow. And are we getting circlet quick? No, we're quickly getting the Null Brute. So we know Lyn loves items. We're not concerned with what the Death Knight's doing or what Happy's doing. We know Lyn loves items. And you think to yourself, oh look, are you going to get the ensnare? Oh, that's so crazy. The Acolyte got ensnared. Look at that AI. So that's how that works, huh? The Acolyte was seen and then... So this is a pretty good start. I would maybe Windwalk. Yeah. So you use the Windwalk because you'd want to get the kill for sure. So happy day for Lyn, right? You get extra experience, you get the Gauntlets of Strength, and now you go back to your Mammoth. So we're going to kill this one Mammoth because this has another item. So this is just item Lyn. No barracks, no problem. Trying to max out the good items. Let's see what we get here. Ooh, Ring of Protection. So it's a tanky Blade Master. We have our Clarity healing salve going, and we buy circlet. So at this point, we need to make a decision. If we're orc, are we going to go for one more item camp, or are we going to go for the undead? Well, looks like that was chosen for us. Very smart move to take the item, because looks like Happy had the idea to come there. Ooh, the ghoul gets killed by the Tuskar Spearman, and the Tuskar Spearman gets killed by Lyn, right? So the Great Circle of Life completes itself. But Happy is changing things up. He's like, alright, all this fast tech nonsense, there's got to be something I can do. I'm going to deny the creeps near your base, which is very challenging to the Shadowhunter, right? The Shadowhunter, all these games, has really needed these creeps, especially when, you know, it just pops out. That's crazy. Look at the Cloak of Shadows usage there. Happy's good at this. Happy's good at denying the Windwalk Blade. But sometimes I think the difference between me and Lyn on some of these things, obviously Lyn is infinitely better than me, but whenever I'm in that situation, I just sometimes just start attacking the hero. Because like if you're going to wait around for me I will at least force the issue and like force you to trade, force you to take some HP. But that's see, I can probably do that because I know my opponents are at the skill level of Happy. You can kind of get into 2 to 3 chops because they're slow on their reactions, and then that makes it efficient for you. So I bet we've been watching. You're gonna buy another circlet, Lyn. Yeah, another circlet. So not only are we buying another circlet, by the way, we kind of missed it here, but the Death Knight was waiting here the whole time with Cloak of Shadows. Really interesting. So I actually may show that again, just so we're all on the same page here. The high level situation. See, and it was scouted by Happy. Happy uses the crystal ball, sees he's here, says, "Ah, I was in the wrong location." So you may think, "What, Nick? Wrong location? What are you talking about?" Let's hit restart, shall we? I know. Don't worry, we got time. We're gonna hit restart, and we're just gonna fast forward back to where we were 5 minutes in the game, right? So this was the creeping phase of the game. This was when Happy was around Lyn's part of the map, right? And during that time, Lyn was acquiring items on the Blade Master, right? Items to make the Blade Master strong, items to make the Blade Master resilient, and of course the Death Knight was getting experience. Then this happened, you see? Now the Blade Master has an opportunity to stand right here and kill this Ogre Magi. It's a popular trick. Most people do it. And you know what? If it wasn't for this little harassment going, I think Lyn could have possibly done that. But we have to imagine, if Lyn did this, then Happy would have been like, huh, where is Lyn? Maybe he's off doing something tricky. So we're going to go back to it. Look what actually happens here. I think this is fascinating. We have Cloak of Shadows, and you just wait here. And look, there was a chance. There was a chance that Lyn does the thing and starts creeping. And that whole time, this sneaky Cloak of Shadows Death Knight would have been there. But it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. You see? And Lyn decides to do something else. Go to this one. So just love that moment, because how do we know what was going on in the heads of these players? We really don't. But what it can tell us is that at around 5 minutes, 6 minutes, we know that these 2 camps are a hot item for a Blade Master, right? Once you get 2 circlets, you can kill these ogres so quickly. And that nets you a really nice wand of mana stealing. But look at this. How is Lyn is doing so much? I can't believe it. We're going to have to restart again. I know. Because apparently during this whole time, Lyn was also pulling creeps. What? Okay, so we're fast forwarding it. Now let's focus on the Shadow Hunter, right? So we all know what the Blade has done, right? Blade sitting there trying to get your items going. Tier 2 is on its merry way. You see, once the Tier 2 tech finishes, Shadow Hunter is on the scene. Shadow Hunter, right? And Shadow Hunter doing all of this commotion with the Blade, right? The Blade doing this creeping. What did the Shadow Hunter do? Immediately, I do want to see something scary. We buy Healing Salve Scroll. We skill Hex. And during this, we're running. We are now camping. Dude, this is crazy. We're creeping 2 camps. We attack the Forest Wolf. Forest Wolf ones. And what are we concerned with? Lyn, what a god. Hexing the Sasquatch. Attacking it. Now you're using Hex AI manipulation. Now the Sasquatch is going in your base. And you get to burrow creep. Lyn, this is Orc. You know, using Orc in the trickiest, cheesiest way. Now the Sasquatch is so confused, but you're getting destroyed. Take the burrows out. Experience, not bad. 46 experience each, and you get another circlet. So, it's just a joy to see. It's a joy to see just this style of play. Because, you know, it results in a really tough Blade Master, and that's just the advantage that, look at Happy's items. Happy may have high experience, but the Blade can just turn. I actually think the Blade can just turn and start attacking. But I guess you don't have any mana. Yeah, you don't have any mana. I thought you had Windwalk mana. So we're creep fasting, trying to creep fast. Fortress is done. And we're going this combo again. Raiders into Ensnare into Wind Riders. Nice chop. The crit strike gets the ghoul. Dude, look at Happy. Just every step of the way. So Happy is now trying to contain the orc. Say, don't creep, don't creep. Don't get more items. But now that the Raider has Ensnare, it's kind of hard to do that. Oh, I loved this. Did you see this? You saw a vision of this creep with the flying unit. So you hex it. You hex the Troll Priest, which causes this Furbolg to run over. So this is just maximum evasive creeping from Lyn, right? This style of right under the nose of my opponent, getting really good items. Wand of Mana Stealing, Robe of the Magi. Shadowhunter, like, becoming very sustainable, right? Once the Shadowhunter gets level 3 and level 2 heal wave, it's going to be easy for Lyn to not run out of mana. We see the TC back, and we don't go Endurance Aura first. Looks like we're probably going War Stomp first. Probably concerned with getting creep jacked, and maybe you're aware that the Tauren Chieftain won't get level 2 quickly. Maybe you just want Stomp first. Endurance Aura would technically have been better here, because you haven't used any mana yet, so there's that note, right? When do you not skill Endurance Aura first? Well, when you're already going to creep, it's maybe a misplay to skill Stomp here. But we have the Windwalk level 2 doing its thing. Are we going to steal this? Doesn't steal it. Not quite. Tries to. Doesn't get the item either. I mean, could have. That was just a luck thing, right? I feel like, oh, you're going to get the Reaver? You missed the dust. But, oh, look at that. You really... the shade the whole time. Shade the whole time. Now, I remember when this was live, casters were like, I couldn't believe that. Do you really think he did that with the shade on purpose? Yeah, I think that was a bait. I think he knows after playing all these games with Lyn that Lyn is definitely scouting what he's doing with level 2 Windwalk. So you dust there, knowing that even if I miss, I have the shade. So, because, you know, you need to get rid of your inventory anyway, and it's not like dust is really valuable once the shade is already on the map, right? So might as well use dust right there to get some damage in on the Blade Master, which Happy did. Marn Thunderhorn, you gotta get level 3, buddy. So let's see. Akinos, the 3 circlet Blade Master. Oh, that's gets scouted. So we see the shade scouted by the Sentry Ward. And I like to see Lyn's controlling of 2 squads. This is very key to Lyn's play, whether it's the Farseer and how he uses Spirit Wolves, or just creeping with 2 heroes in 2 different camps, or in the case of his air, you know, using air to just get some harassment in. This harassment isn't doing much, but it's, you know, causing some delays, causing some toil. I'd probably just hit this Ziggurat, right? Nah, the Bat Rider's coming. No, I mean the Gargoyle's coming. We have another solo creeping. I love this. This is when the blade gets so scary. You can just start solo creeping things. I guess the rest of the army's coming, but Gloves of Haste, Orb of Lightning, ay ay ay. Now you'd think Lyn wants to fight here, but we know we have spike barricades. Is this level 1 spike barricades or level 2? This is something we're going to see, because the Undead is the one who's going to have to, like, force this fight. The Undead is, like, reliant on timings and whatnot if they're not expanding. So it's sometimes nice to just keep creeping, and the Undead has to take damage on your spikes, has to, like, fight your burrows and watchtower, right? Alright, we got Headhunters. This is one of those games where it's like, okay, at any point the Undead opponent can just run up and coil Nova, and I'm caught off guard. That's what happens to me a lot when I'm playing against Undead. They just so much faster than me with Unholy Armor. By the way, nice use of Bat Rider vision. Bats above the high grounds. Bats have improved vision at night. So that's just true. You know, night can affect the visibility of units and the use. Yeah, so Bat Riders have better vision at night. Don't know why, it's just true. So we have the bat on a nice high ground position. And this is something, an underrated ability. The ability to just sit. When you know you're winning, when you know you're building units, when you know you have an expansion. For Lyn to be on the map right now with his army would probably be a mistake. Oh, the Shade sees that immediately. And Lyn doesn't see the expansion, but he can feel it. He can be like, oh, okay, well. Now both players have expanded. Bats, raiders, getting all the items. Scroll. Get Parrot. Now, I'm not sure if you bought Parrot, but I like buying Parrot sometimes, especially versus Undead when you have an expansion. You can buy it from the Goblin Shop. It's really good on your heroes. It's like a preemptive healing potion in a way, right? Oh, look at this fight. Oh, okay, this fight. We're going to have to go through this fight like kind of slice by slice because this is crazy. How do you even approach this as Lyn? So we are immediately blowing up the gargoyles. Obviously, makes sense, right? We now have two groups. We have our ranged group here and our melee groups. We're trying to war stomp, and we're always trying to keep the Shadow Hunter out of harm's way. Have you noticed that micro about Lyn? I like how his heroes are kind of split. We have a Wind Rider is able to kill a Garg before it dies. And this is, I mean, I always love it as an Orc player when the Blade Master is just chopping for free. See, the Shadow Hunter gets focused and Lyn can just immediately run away. Banshees going down. It's nice to see Raiders attacking the Banshees. That's ideal. Healing Wave on Shadow Hunter. And man, the Periot's doing nice here. You have Potion of Invuln, so you're not afraid at all. At all. But are you going to give the Invuln back to Blade? It's possible. These two units need to die. Yeah, you see it too. Oh, look at that. He has to give the Invuln Potion back. He has the Wand of Mana Sealing. You get 90 mana on the Shadow Hunter, so that's one more heal. Definitely going to be the Blade Master that gets healed. Yeah, wow, this is insane. Now you use the Invuln. This is great. And look, Kodo's eating the ghouls again. And did you notice? Okay, notice how the Kodos didn't immediately try to eat the ghouls in the start of the fight. That's how to get your Kodos dead. Look at the Kodo DPS. We've talked about this. Kodos have 1,000 HP. Look at that damage. Damage. Even though the Blade is dead, the Lyn kills the Lich. So we have a little bit of I still have 62 food situation going on. Because like the ghouls here, they're not going to be coming out of these bellies anytime soon. We have no mana on the Shadow Hunter, but it's actually just 20 more mana until a healing wave. And I guarantee Lyn knows that. Any Orc player has been in this situation. You're like 3, 2, 1, and you healing wave, right? Where's it coming? Healing wave. Oh, you have to wait to the last minute? Yeah, there you go. And that Alchemist Talisman of Evasion is not going to win. It's not going to help you dodge a War Stomp. Fun fact, you cannot evade attacks when stunned. This was such a cool moment when the Raiders just ensnare and run away. So, I mean, would you look at that? The timing is so good. You attack happy before you're really able to get much from that expansion. And just, yeah, you know, the way in which Lyn's army comp has been so diverse, it's really saved him. You know, the Headhunter and the Kodo represent a pretty nice backline of range. And you notice how they're like different ranges too. That actually helps the Kodo and the Headhunters focus fire the same targets because they don't have to share the same kind of axis. You know, the Kodos are fighting at the 500 range and the Headhunters are fighting at the 550 range. I mean, you know, like meanwhile the Shadow Hunter is at the 600 range. So you have a natural little backline here. And the Blade Master, you don't even need to buy back the Blade Master because you have expansion. You're in no rush. Orc expansion is a very powerful part of Tier 3. And a lot of what Lyn seems to be doing versus Undead is this rush to Tier 3 that allows you to then capitalize on any of the early game to mid-game advantages you have. Now I'm able to tiny relatively safely. So what do we focus on? Probably the Alchemist, right? Alchemist can't get coiled. Doesn't have any invuln. Successful almost possession, but we got the Hex. We go for the Banshees instead, and this seems like a decent engage. At first for Happy, you had the Ghouls on the Headhunters, but the TC is able to stomp, and the Alchemist is still such a weak point because you don't have any way to coil the Alchemist. Non-undead hero. Alchemist down. Yeah. Feeling great. Full HP Blade. What can we say? You know, the 3 circlets giving 20 plus damage plus gloves and haste just goes to show you how important items are for the blade. Aurora Happy, and you're done. It's just crazy, step by step, item by item, right? Very nice, very nice. It's now 2-2, all right? And I just want to. Autumn leaves the last game, but for everyone, you know, who's been following along, Happy is the ranked 1 player right now. Well, ranked 1 player, right? And you know, Lyn had some tough losses against Undead. I have tough losses against Undead. I feel like most Orc players have tough losses against Undead. So to see this, it's cool. I'm already getting some inspiration behind the consistent fast teching, right? The consistent no barracks early game versus Undead. I think I'm like sold. And I'm sold especially because it allows you to put those resources into double circlet, right? Like, I wonder if Lyn's gonna buy double circlet this game again. We'll have to see, right? Let's see how it goes. You sell the TP, healing salve clarity. Where are we going? We windwalk about here, all timed. So we are immediately going for this camp. Oh, nice, and we even get it. Okay, so which do we hit first? Oh no! We still get it! Oh, 48 experience, so good. Windwalk expires, but we were patient. Now this is just where you want to be. You know how I said there's a hierarchy of needs for Blade Master? Well, stealing experience is one of them. The Blade Master is always needing to slow down the enemy hero because the Blade Master is usually doing a fast tech if you're trying to go Windwalk Blade Master. But you know, there are other ways. Can maybe get the wolf? Right now. You need to strike right now. Who can guess? So tough. Happy knows too. Happy probably just makes it a really random situation. Now you buy circlet. You always have to go buy the chance to buy circlet. Notice how like delaying the circlet buy allowed Lyn to steal that, right? If he would have went straight towards the circlet, he wouldn't have been in time to steal that camp. So good to see that. Happy doing the same thing we saw earlier, right? He's trying to steal camps from the Orc side as a way of like protest, you know, like how dare you harass me? I'm gonna take your creeps. Do we get a second windwalk? Ghoul or creep here? Ghoul or creep? Which one is it? I say the ghoul. You can just like hit the ghoul. Oh, well, it's definitely not the creeps. And the Blade Master is what? Stalling for that tier 2. Don't chase the ghoul? Okay. Do you buy circlet here? You have a lot of gold then. You immediately build the Shadow Hunter? Yeah, immediately build Shadow Hunter. Have a lot of gold. You don't buy circlet because why? The Death Knight did. Oh, yeah. Death Knight denial. You still have salve and windwalk, so it's hard to leave here. You want to keep going in. I feel that. Oh, the Sasquatch. It's so tempting. Just gonna get death coiled, maybe. There you go. Yeah, death coiled. But wait, did you get the item? I think you got the item, right? Yeah, I think you got the claws of attack. That was really good. Needed that claws desperately. You know, the blade needs items, and claws of attack is like a very efficient way to get damage. Agility is always preferred, right? Like, because agility increases attack speed and armor, but so it is. Attack damage is just raw, important stat. Do you get the kill on the Null Warden? No, but you get the strength tome. Okay. Taking the undead strength. You love to see it.
We're under attack. Work complete. Work complete.
Do we see some more creeping shenanigans here? We do. Look at this. The enraged Wildkin pulled by the Shadow Hunter. Same sort of trickery here. So this is just like part of Lyn's strategy, right? After you've harassed to no end, the Shadow Hunter is built on a priority, so you can do stuff like this. You can snipe the level 6 creeps. We have the double Wind Rider, and if we're learning from Lyn, this should be a Raider and Snare next, right? We haven't really truly gone mass air, and Ruined Bracers again. Is this a valid strat versus like Undead? Do you always try to creep the Goblin, aka level 6 drops, because they have Ruined Bracers in them? This item is so good versus Undead. I mean, we're trying again, right? Let's see what other big items the Blade can get. Healing Wards. Okay, Healing Wards pretty nice. Healing Wards allows you to essentially stay on the map, creep even more. You don't have to go back to base. So we're creeping. Quick check. So is the Undead. They're all creeping. They're trying to get to their ideal army, and it's rough, you know? Especially when you've been now playing, what? This is your 5th game against Happy. Man, playing against Undead is already exhausting. So we have more solo item steals. We have the Healing Ward allowing you to not really think about this while you're solo creeping the Blade Master. Like always, Lyn is just all over the place, all over the map. Get that Cloak of Shadows, not very good. Probably going to sell that cloak. But the Tome of Int is always good. You know, Tome's just like a permanent item. Probably the Shadow Hunter going to get this one. Yeah, nice. That 15 extra mana. And mana regen. You have War Drums increased damage, so the Kodos are coming. Ooh, yeah, Blade Master needs that increased damage. So I'd say we have a little brawler composition here. This is a sort of army that can brawl, right? You have the Blade Master, the TC. But let's watch how this unfolds. Let's watch how this unfolds. Remember how I said sometimes the Undead will fight the Orc fortified base? Well, you're seeing it happen now, right? Now, Spike Barricades was a little late, but look at these burrows. Just doing steady damage on the ghouls, not bad. And the Orc's fine with this, because the Orc is really thinking to myself, whatever fight's going to happen is going to be decisive. And what? The Tauren Chieftain down! Yes, it happened. Lyn's just like us. I cannot believe his Tauren Chieftain died. But I want to actually showcase something amazing, right? Your Tauren Chieftain dies. But as a result, all of your other units are full HP, right? The Tauren Chieftain soaked up all that damage. As a result, your Shadow Hunter also got experience. So let's see how this goes. In 2 chops, 3 chops, 1 silence later, and the TC is back. So it's a really remarkable situation, because now the TC is back, full HP, and this is somehow the only way to get all 3 heroes full HP in time for this fight. Now look at the Burrow. The Burrow doing so much. It's actually really cool. Medallion of Courage, the item you creeped, giving you strength to survive. Now this is just so hard. Watch this. Most orcs can't even conceive of like finishing the game here, but what? Look at this. Lyn gets the ETC, the Tauren Chieftain, the body blocks. He gets that bam, bam, bam. It's so big. This is the unit he lost to creeps, by the way. This is the unit that he managed to come back with. Get the second hex, which means the windwalk damage, of course. Second hex. He uses that staff, the Dispel Wand, but it doesn't matter. The Shadow Hunter gets the finishing kill. Another hex, and look at the TC. Stomp! Oh my god, and the body blocks. Insane. Hex to end it. You need 1 crit, please. If there's ever a crit. Man, what a thing of beauty. Like, Lyn doing that is just insane. Just insane. Obviously insane. I can't. When I watched that, I was hyped. I was literally pumping my hands in the air. When I watched that live, I was hyped. And I just. Okay. We have to see this again. Real quick. And we're going to do that thing we did, right? We're just going to focus on this part of the game. So, you know, first of all, shout out to Lyn. 3-2 happy. So cool, right? Put on a great show for everyone. But just this moment is so funny to me, right? You have this granite golem, right? This is a huge golem, offers a really big item. But the tough thing about this camp is it has these dire wolves. And the dire wolves do so much damage. Like, they crit. They have critical strikes. So just like how the Blade Master can do, like, very unexpected damage, so can these dire wolves. So, you know, did Lyn plan this with the Tauren Chieftain? I mean, it's possible, but it's also possible he didn't plan it. So let's see what happens here, right? Let's do a real long look. Now, I believe at this point, we know we're going to use the Healing Ward. And we also know that we're going to fight him here. Once we see that we're getting attacked, we now realize, uh-oh, the Dire Frost Wolf is doing a lot of damage. They have the Roar, too. The Healing Ward's there, and look at the TC, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the TC. See, you think it's all safe. But look at those crits. 62, 74, and then the Granite Golem turned to you. You try to run away, but you get killed. So, now that the TC is dead, you share just the experience between the two. And wouldn't it have been tempting to give the Medallion of Courage to the TC? I'm not sure. But the Blade Master gets 3 as a result. Maybe would have still been 2 as a result. And look, it's fascinating. 1, 2, 3, 4. You get 4 chops in, and the TC's back. So, and of course that TC, being full HP, was very important because it was never considered a target by Happy. And then because it was never considered a target, when the whole chase happened, TC was able to just body block. So, hey, that was super fun. Thanks for watching. If you guys enjoy this breakdown, if you guys just enjoy Orc as much as I do in Warcraft, subscribe, give the channel some love, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Presented by earlygame.gg, and we are nominated for the 3rd time as the non-mainstream streamers of the year. We took this thing home twice, and we want to get it a 3rd time. We got 4 weeks. We need your votes. All you need is set this check mark, enter your name, click on Abstimmen, and there you go. You can do this for multiple devices, for multiple IPs. And you can also win some stuff. So get in there, everybody. Get in there.